Welcome to A Hero's Footsteps, the Odyssey. The goal of our game is to lead Odysseus back home to Ithaca by solving scenic puzzles, interacting with characters, and challenging players to make decisions and follow the story's narrative. The three core elements of the game are gameplay puzzles, interactions, and dilemmas. The puzzle elements use puzzles to engage the learner and immerse them in the setting. It also includes interactive hotspots that can be tapped to get clues during play. The puzzles link the interactive elements together. The interactions provide dialogue with other characters and present in-depth game and book information to the player. Most interactions will include a dilemma element. Dilemmas allow players to make choices for Odysseus based on the content of the book. Here, players infer what they have learned through interactions and interactive hotspots to decide what Odysseus does next. There are 14 proposed levels corresponding to the journey of Odysseus. Each level features all game elements, and artwork is themed according to the location. Levels increase in complexity. This encourages players to pay attention to interactions and hotspot clues so they can successfully work through dilemmas as they become more complex. This pushes players to use what they've learned from playing. Puzzle mechanics are 2D terrain-based puzzles and link other game elements together. Puzzle rules require players to tap and slide terrain up or down to create a pathway for Odysseus. Each piece will be highlighted when tapped, and dots appear to show connection points, indicating where Odysseus can travel. Players will not be able to move pieces where Odysseus is standing. Here are prototypes from the tutorial level that begins in Troy. The player taps to raise or lower parts of the damaged walls to form a pathway. This first image shows a simple concept of how this works. Image 2 shows how multiple pieces could be manipulated to form that pathway. This last image is a prototype of a themed puzzle where the player first taps the soldiers circled in red, who then push the Trojan horse to fill the damaged gap and form the pathway. Puzzles will start off easy, but become more challenging as the game progresses, though not so much that players get stuck or frustrated. Puzzle sections also include the interactive elements. Players encounter interactive elements they can tap on in the puzzles. These elements provide clues players use to infer decisions during interactions. Here, Odysseus is on the Cyclops Island. The player can tap on the sheet circled in red, which triggers a thought cloud on screen where Odysseus' thoughts reveal that whoever lives here only raises sheep and doesn't cultivate their farmland. This is a clue players can use later. Terrain puzzles lead to interactions. From the Troy tutorial level, Odysseus meets his men at a temple. Interactions will be indicated by a cue, such as the yellow exclamation point, and the player taps the men to start. An interaction begins. The screen switches to a cutscene providing dialogue that contains context and information about the story. Through these dialogues, the player builds knowledge and understanding of the game and the book. Interactions may also include optional pop-ups featuring Homer. Homer provides insight to focus players on an in-book concept, for example, the theme of Odysseus' pride. Interactions may lead to dilemmas. Displayed on screen, these present the player with a choice on what Odysseus does in a given situation. This screen shows an early prototype of a dilemma the player may face. Should Odysseus and his men return home to Ithaca or stay and rest? Dilemmas lead to consequences. These play out in Odysseus' power bar and journey length indicator. The power bar represents Odysseus' will to get back home and how well the player's choices line up with the story and plot of the Odyssey. The length of journey bar represents how the player's choices impact the journey. In this example, the player decides to stay in Troy. The power bar goes down and his men get restless, because this goes against the book's narrative. The journey bar also goes up since the delay means the trip home takes longer. These elements provide an assessment to show how well the player is adhering to the plot of the book and paying attention to clues from the game. If the player makes enough bad choices, they could lose the game. Whether they make the right or wrong choice, Homer can appear to reinforce their choice or provide corrective feedback. These elements provide the player the opportunity to adjust their learning and works as a mechanism for teachers to target additional instruction. Through all of these elements, the game will immerse players in Odysseus' adventures and allow them to come to understand the book in a deeper and more profound way. All of the elements, decisions, and actions by the player will be captured in-game and be available for teachers to review, allowing them to assess how well students are understanding the book and providing opportunities for in-class discussions.